When you come across somebody who's panhandling, what do you want to see happen to that person's life? You know, as Executive Director of Charlotte Rescue Mission for over 20 years, we exclusively work with men and women struggling with addictions. We want to see them reach their potential. We want them to be tenants with a dream of becoming homeowners and employees with a dream of becoming business owners. We also know that the majority of those panhandling are not homeless according to a local community shelter. They struggle with substance abuse. And it's been documented that somebody who has a substance abuse problem can raise their money in 90 minutes of waking up in the morning. A friend of mine once said when she gives $5 to somebody who's panhandling, it's between them and God. And I corrected her and I said, no, it's between them and you. You and I know that the majority of them will use that money for drugs and alcohol. I've talked to enough folks that have come through the rescue mission that they can wake up stone broke at 8:30 in the morning and have enough money for the drug habit for the day by 10 o'clock in the morning. Others have told me they get high from the money they panhandled with, and then after they sober up, they panhandle some more, buy some more drugs, get high, sober up, panhandle some more, and get high, and repeat this process throughout the day. While we think giving them $5 is an act of compassion, it actually enables someone to remain in active addiction. And if we're willing to not give them cash, but point them to agencies in our community that can change their lives, that I think is the most Christian, compassionate thing to do. As long as we as a community continue to give $5 to somebody and say, God bless you, that person will always be on the street corner. But when the supply dries up, when we say to them, I will pray for you, I'll point you to this agency or that agency, and they no longer get their money, the panhandling stops. An addict only seeks help when they hit bottom. As long as we continue to give them funding for their drug habit, they don't hit bottom. People only change when the pain is greater than the pleasure. By that I mean it's annoying to panhandle, but it's not a pain. And they'll go out and they'll hustle the money, and they'll go out and continue to use. But if the pain of having no funds coming in is so great, that's when they're willing to say, where do I get help? And they'll show up to places like the Charlotte Rescue Mission and get sobriety and become contributing members of society. Most Christians, when they think of compassion ministry, go to Matthew 25. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. As you did this unto the least of these, my brethren, you did this unto me. But we prefer to go to John chapter 6. John chapter 6 is 2 days in the life of Jesus. On day 1, he feeds 5,000 people. On day 2, he chooses not to feed them. He preaches at them. And by verse 66, they all walk away. If you look at these 2 days in the life of Jesus with the same crowd, day 1, God says, I love you so much that I accept you just as you are. But day 2, God is saying, I love you too much to leave you there. And that's the hard work of transformation. If all we do is day 1 work, and by that I mean giving somebody $5 who's panhandling, we've not fulfilled God's equation for day 2 work, the hard work of transformation.